This is where the ancient cities and medieval civilizations emerged and disappeared. This is the cradle of great ideas, a place where science and arts prospered, the crossroads of trade and the boldest ideas. What is Central Asia like today? What do the countries in the region have in common? What is the cultural and genetic code of the peoples living in this part of the world? Stay tuned with Central Asian Guide to find out. The one-man band, a friend of artists and a healer. Oral Tansikbayev's House Museum in Tashkent. Louvre in the desert. Pride of Karakalpakstan. A wise man and philanthropist, collector and writer, a wonder man who heals people with his own hands. That is how Alexei Nazarov's friends, colleagues, and those whom he returned to normal life describe him. A quarter of a century ago, he founded one of the first private clinics in Tashkent and even developed his own methodology. But he's known not only for that. He's also famous because he collects paintings like Igor Savitsky, the founder of the largest museum of contemporary art in Central Asia. He saves the artworks from oblivion and sometimes from physical destruction, as well as supports their authors who are grateful to him and continue to present their new pieces.
Добрый день, господа.
Hello.
А у нас весна. А это моя.
And this is my private medical clinic. Now I'm going to my favorite bioresonance therapy room. Follow me. Here's my favorite doctor, Yevgenia Vasilyevna Bashkova, associate professor, neurologist. Yevgenia Vasilyevna, Aziza just visited you. Yes, Alexei Konstantinovich, give me the results. I want to see them. Aziza has problems of the gastrointestinal tract, dysbiosis. Follow me. Well, let's go to the massage room. Matluba, how's Sardor? Fine. Everything's good? Is he feeling better today? Yes, much better. How is the injury? Healing? Yes, it is better. Well, thank God. I wish you good luck, happiness, and all the best. Nazarov's office is perhaps one of the most original medical offices because the main things here are the art objects. I'm inviting you to my office. Let's go. Here I try to recreate the room I had when I was a child. Here is an aquarium, recordings collection, pictures on the walls. It all reminds me of my childhood. Welcome to my lounge. Here you see the dream catcher, which I brought back from my Peru journey. In the background, there is a beautiful Suzani made by the magnificent masters Abdullaevs from Shafrikan. And this is the work of my friend, academician Anvar Mirsagatov. I got it for my birthday. I'm very proud of this work. It's called Atergul. I'm a crazy Beatles fan. That's why right above my desk you see graphic images of the magnificent Liverpool band. And I want to show you the book that I wrote in 2005 and for which I received the gold medal of Queen Victoria. This is the Beatles' therapy of cervical osteochondrosis. A serious medical topic for cervical osteochondrosis is described in comics and using the Beatles group. It is in the John Lennon House Museum in Tokyo, and Paul McCartney has it. Here's a portrait of Salvador Dali and even his anatomical portrait with anatomical muscles of the neck, which states, "Surrealism is me." And I say that manual therapy is me. May I?
Oh, Alexander Kamensky!
Oh, Alexander Kamensky. Dr. Nazarov. Hello, glad to see you. Hello, how are you? What's new? Yes, this is a disc for your book, Anamnesis Morbe, Anamnesis Vita.
Morbe et Anamnesis Vitae. Khwarezm,
Bukhara, Andijan, Tashkent, and Samarkand. The last series, it is completed.
Благодарю.
Thank you very much.
Спасибо большое. Кстати, я недавно буквально написал книгу по...
By the way, I recently wrote a book on the fine arts of Uzbekistan about the meetings with artists, their workshops, their philosophy, the direction of their work, their life, their creativity.
сравнению их работ, их жизни, их быт, их спорт. И теперь мы...
And now with Alexander Kamansky, we have prepared 6 films inspired by the book.
6 фильмов по главам этой книги.
The 5th book is called Seven Strings.
Из этого сборника очень
A lot of poems of this book were used in those films. All the best. Thank you.
Как вы заметили, активно не только...
As you can see, the pictures can be seen on the walls of not only my office, but all medical offices. Here you see the lilac. It is a still life of the very famous Fergana artist Muhammad John Jurabayev.
Мне очень нравится его творчество.
I really like his works.
Вот второй натюрморт.
Here's the second still life. I think it is beautiful.
Прекрасный, чудесный двор.
That is beautiful, wonderful courtyard, where we, by the way, hold exhibitions.
Этим небом. На эти карнизы вывешиваются картины.
If you pay attention, there are special moldings of 4 pictures.
Ставится длинный стол, и мы принимаем...
Here in the center, we place a long table and we welcome guests of the exhibition.
Кстати, я провел уже около...
By the way, I have already organized about 50 exhibitions in 20 years. I'm proud of it.
Горжусь этим. И последнюю выставку я сам лично приготовил.
And for the last exhibition, I personally cooked pilaf using 10 kilograms of rice.
Маленький плов, но так...
And now a little pilaf, but I'll cook it myself. Let's try.
Попробуем? Мы приготовим наш съест.
We will cook our own pilaf.
Начинают работать мои друзья.
Now with friends' assistants begin to work, but I'm always the chef.
Ну как работать? Всё хорошо.
How's work? Great. Good.
Вот пошла джиза.
Here is a jizz.
Думба.
This is dombra, lamb's special part, the back.
Она дает вкус. Хороший
It gives a good taste to the oil, which will now be poured into the cauldron.
Узбеки говорят. Баракят.
Uzbeks say, Barakat open, find your happiness.
Капли масла, которые ты не долил, которые...
Maybe you will find your happiness in the drop of oil, which has been produced by the hands of a man.
Всегда внимательно следится.
Therefore, always keep an eye on the shelf life of the products. Do not waste them, so every drop of the product and every rice can find its place.
Каждая ресинка нашла свое место.
As a real chef, Dr. Nazarov cooks the traditional Tashkent pilaf with pleasure. He has qualities of a truly gifted person to receive everything in life with joy, share endless happiness, and give harmony to people.
Ну вот, а теперь будем закладывать джиз.
Well, now we will put jizz,
Таким образом мы приготовим фритюр.
so we will prepare for the frying oil. It's lamb. When everything is bubbling, it means that the oil is made perfectly.
Фритюр приготовили отлично. Мелко нарезанный.
Sliced onion,
А теперь укладываем
now we add carrots,
горох.
peas called nohat,
Специально
especially for pilaf, solid brown sultana grapes, not black,
не черный. Зраж. И семейство
Cumin.
тминовых. Для запаха черный горох.
We add black peas for the flavor.
Укладываем чесночок.
We put garlic, slightly sticking it deep into carrots.
Углу моркови. И самое красивое. красный
And the most
перец.
beautiful is the red pepper.
О,
What a beautiful thing.
вот она, красота какая. Начинаем укладывать рис.
Now we add the rice.
Его готовность.
I, for example, feel its redness even by the sound through the cup here, the ladle. When the pilaf is ready, there will be a gentle sound, and if the sound is sharp, it means that the rice is not cooked yet. Well, the pilaf is ready. Great. Oh, the pilaf is ready and the guests are coming. Hello, Sid. How are you doing? Glad to see you. How are you doing? Everything's fine. Did you somehow feel that we're making the pilaf? I can smell it. I brought someone. This is the artist, Dina. Hello, Dr. Nazarov. Your neighbors. Yes, we turned out to be neighbors. Really, what can I say? Oshka Khosh Kelipsis. Welcome. Have some pilaf.
Я, когда заходила к вам, вот с Саидом, увидела книжку. Мне так интересно.
These are red clay lagans, large dishes made in Rishtan. So let's start.
Плов можно подать гостям.
Please eat. That is amazing. How is it? My God, it's great, and especially the smell spreads throughout the district. Happy holiday. When pilaf and hot bread is served, it is always associated with the holidays.
Ассоциируется с праздником. По легенде,
According to the legend, pilaf was invented by Alexander the Great to feed his warriors. Nazarov is a frequent and very welcome guest in art workshops. During almost 20 years, he became friends with almost all the artists of Uzbekistan. The working day seems to be over, and the creative one continues. This is the house of artists. That was home for many famous artists of Uzbekistan. We will go to Tatiana Lee's workshop today. Follow me, please. Welcome. May I? Hello, long time no see. Let's go. We are visiting a famous artist of Uzbekistan, Tatiana Lee.
Татьяны Ли.
A beautiful woman, my favorite one, and the great master of Uzbekistan. We bow to her. Faint. I love when people faint looking at my paintings, especially you. Yes. Have you seen this? Wonderful work. So beautiful. What colors? I told myself that I should give it to you, because it is called Rejuvenating Apples. Take it? Rejuvenating Apples. That was also a series. Now, the second cheek. That's how Dr. Nazarov collects his collection. Tanya, I need a moment to call, and I'll be back soon. It's always like that. I get it. That's how true and kind friends act. Come and go. I adore and respect Dr. Nazarov, an interesting man, and he's full of life. A good friend. He knows how to be a good friend. He's generous. Now, you've seen a very clever move. I give him a gift. He cannot refuse it. He will buy something. That's how we live. Everything's great. In general, he makes a huge contribution to the development of art and culture of our country. I think that this is a very rare kind of people. He supports, sincerely loves us, the art and paintings. He has published a very good book about himself, about arts, memories. When I carefully read it, it was very clear everything comes from the childhood. I wanted to add that his parents, who taught him to love the art, were amazing.
Танечка, сюрприз.
Tanya, surprise!
Сюрприз.
Come in, please.
Пожалуйста,
Good evening.
Наталья Ивановна Глазкова.
Natalia Glazkova, a fine art expert, my teacher of art history.
Человек.
Мой учитель искусствоведения.
Don't say that. I'll feel very ancient. My favorite art teacher. Colleague? Let's say so. By the way, Natalia Ivanovna worked for many years as the chief art expert of the Oral Tansigbaev's museum. Oral Tansigbaev, outstanding artist, founder of contemporary fine arts of Uzbekistan. We got acquainted at the Tansigbaev Museum. He was the right person who, for 19 years of the museum's foundation, came, examined the museum and said that he liked everything. And he said, "Do you need anything?" The director and I were taken aback by this phrase. Nobody ever asked us about it. And the next day we had a piano at the museum. All Tatiana's family members are the artists. Her father, mother, and her sister. They all draw pictures. And they are all different, you see. And they are all different. Natalia Ivanovna, I would like to buy these pictures. What advice would you give me? This really impressed me. Tanya, do you know there is an expression one-day exhibition or a one-painting exhibition? You can have a one-theme exhibition. The series of pictures cannot be seen so closely together. These are rich color pictures. A distance is needed between each picture, and now you can generally present only these works and nothing more. Well, did you like our artists and art critics? They are very good people. God granted them health and creativity. I really like to visit workshops, talk about trends, about new works and sketches. It's always interesting how a person thinks, how a person lives at present, any time. Therefore, I think it is a pleasure to talk about art after work. It is like having a rest. Although I said that after the work comes the second part, creative part, but it's not work. It's a creative holiday. At last, we are at home. We spent 12 hours. Hi. Oh, hello, my dear. Tatiana Lee sends you regards. What a beauty. Oh, hi. The painting is in the storage at the port of arrival. The house of the collector demonstrates his passion for beauty. Fortunately, Alexei Nazarov's wife also likes the works of art. After all, this is the essence, the one he saved from childhood. And perhaps she appreciates this part of him most of all. But of course, only a small part of the colorful canvases are on display at home. The most part of the pictures, one is kept in a special storage. These are very interesting works created by famous sculptors, Ivanovs. Here, these are the beautiful cranes standing near our house. We got them a long time ago. They are a symbol of happiness, a symbol of love. This is the embodiment of Alexei Konstantinovich, and this is me, his wife, Svetlana Petrovna. Well, now I will invite you to the sacred place, to my Pinakoteka, or the so-called picture gallery. This is my collection of paintings. Please, come with me. You can see many canvases on the shelves. Now, I cannot tell you the exact number of canvases, but I guess that's somewhere around 500 to 600 works. I mean, oil on canvas paintings. But the most important thing here is the graphics. Here, about 10,000 sheets of graphics. I sometimes work here, review the paintings, restore them, and make frames.
пускай не обидится.
I hope my friends, artists from Uzbekistan, will not be angry with me.
Эту работу я люблю.
But I like this work very much. This work is called The Aquarius.
Академиком академии. Художник
Academy of Arts member Umar Bek created it.
Явлонов. Я эту работу полюбил.
I found this piece of art 15 years ago, and I still feel great just looking at it.
Она ласкает мою душу и уносит меня в старый-старый.
The painting brings some sweet memory and reminds me of the old city where people carried water and drank sweet green tea in the tea house.
Душистый зеленый чай. Перед вами мои родители.
Here's my parents. They taught me to appreciate and love the works of art.
Все, то, что мы сегодня вам показали.
All that I am, I owe to my parents, my life, my creativity, my career, my friends.
Мои друзья.
I can say for sure that I had a happy childhood.
У меня было счастливое детство.
Honored art critic Natalia Glaskova is a perfect example of an individual who devoted her life entirely to the fine arts. And, to be more precise, she devoted her life to keep the memory of the remarkable artist of Uzbekistan, Oral Tansikbayev. This museum was the first among small museums in Tashkent. We now enter the house. This is a courtyard. We had been living for 7 years in this house. We get to the Holy of Holies of this house, the artist's studio. This is a room where he worked and created his works. Look at the painting titled Winter in Almaty. This work has its own unique history. The artist painted a portrait of his wife with a table lamp in the room. He went out to relax, breathe the air, and saw the landscape that impressed him. He called his wife. The wife also liked this landscape, and the canvas was not there. She said, "Write it down," and the work was created, and the unfinished portrait of the wife in the room with a table lamp was left under this work. We have a sketch that we keep with the inscription of Tansikbayev's hand. Tashkent, 24, my first sketch. We go to the second floor where the artist's studio is located. We are in the artist's study room. He was engaged in sketches, etudes, and worked with the material that he brought from sketches at this table. There are watercolors, pastels, and grandmother's chest. Kazakh Oral Tansikbayev was born in Tashkent. He spent almost his entire life in this beloved city. He studied both the classical works, the achievements of folk art, and the Western European avant-garde. He was one of the reformers of the Uzbek school of painting. He was recognized as the best artist of Uzbekistan after the success of his exhibitions in Moscow and Philadelphia in 1934. Later, there was another great victory. He received a silver medal at the first post-war World Expo in Brussels. He did not forget about his homeland. Oral Tansikbayev created the costumes of the first Kazakh national ballet, Kalkaman and Mamir, in 1938. The ballet was staged at the Opera and Ballet Theater in Almaty. Now we will go to see the works created by Oral Tansikbayev. Here are the documentary photos about his life. A unique photograph dated April 14, 1974. And this is the same piano which we talked about. Dr. Nazarov presented it. We came to the second floor. The works that were previously stored by the Foundation of the State Museum of Art are presented here. Now they belong to our museum and are exhibited here on the second floor. The whole of Central Asia is here. Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, landscapes of different years, panoramic canvases. There are many etudes. These are the initial sketches that serve for large canvases. The Louvre in the Sands is a brand that the European art historians refer to the Museum of Modern Art. Igor Savitsky created it in the middle of the 20th century. He managed to collect unique works of the Russian avant-garde for a decade and a half and preserve them during the period of Moscow's persecution of experimental art. And among them are the works of the participants of the famous bulldozer exhibition. It was an unofficial art exhibition on a vacant lot in the Belayevo urban forest by Moscow and Leningrad avant-garde artists. The museum also holds a unique collection of paintings by Oral Tansigbayev. Tansigbayev's more than 600 early works. According to experts, these works are considered the pinnacle of Oral Tansigbayev's creativity. Oral Tansigbayev started his learning in Alexander Volkov's class. Volkov was the patriarch of the Uzbek school of painting. He was under the influence of the Western trends of painting of the early 20th century. Here we see the influence of the French post-impressionists. The works done in a style of pointillism. The paintings under the influence of Matisse. We see the style of predominance of decorative elements and at the same time a combination with national themes. There was a strong criticism of his work. He kept the canvases, graphic works, in the attic and did not show it to anyone. Once Igor Savitsky came and asked to show exactly what was not on display. When Tansigbayev showed the hundreds of works hidden from everybody, Savitsky wrote that he had a shock from what he saw. And he asked Oral Tansigbayev to give something for the museum that was just been opened. Tansigbayev offers him to take everything he liked, and Savitsky took all the early works. 600 works were exhibited at the Nukus Museum. Look at this work. It is called September Evening. Trees, grass, soil, everything's glowing with such bright sunlight. This blue donkey speaks about the feeling of peace and the great love of the artist to the land in which he lived and grew up. This monumental painting by Oral Tansigbayev, titled Kazashka, praises hard-working women. She stands very firmly on the ground and as if everything that surrounds her belongs to her. Today, the area of the museum under the name of Savitsky exceeds 20,000 square meters. 2 new buildings were built in 2017. Igor Vitalyevich Savitsky supported many Karakalpaks artists. He played a great role in the development of the fine arts of Karakalpakstan. He brought up many young artists. He supported them and purchased their paintings for our museum. And he also worked with my father, people's artist of Uzbekistan, Joly Izentayev. The visiting card of the museum is a work created by Vasily Lysenko. Savitsky purchased it in Tashkent in 1974 from the artist's sister who inherited it. The most famous painting of our museum, Savitsky considered this work as a masterpiece not only of Uzbek fine arts but also of the world painting. He said the time will come when they will come to us from other countries and admire our works, especially this piece of art. It was written in 1927. This painting is still a mystery. Marinika Nazarova kept Savitsky's priceless collection for 30 years. She recalls how a young artist and ethnographer first came to Karakalpakstan and fell in love with this land with all his heart. He was so in love with the people who had a unique culture and decided to move from Moscow to Nukus, leaving his apartment on Arbat in the center of Moscow. He met my father, who worked in the Karakalpak branch of the Academy of Sciences of Uzbekistan, and my father, Marat Nurmuhamedov, opened a laboratory to study the folk and applied art and invited him to work. Many people didn't talk to him, frankly, because of his strangeness and some glint in his eyes when he saw examples of applied art or ancient finds. And Savitsky brought here at first hundreds, then thousands of works that are now popular all around the world. He taught the first Karakalpak artists on the samples of these works. It is necessary to say that Savitsky sacrificed himself as an artist. He once admitted that you cannot do two things at once when he became a head of the museum.